This painting, titled Sorrowing Old Man at Eternity's Gate, is an oil on canvas completed by Vincent van Gogh in May 1890, during his stay at the St. Paul de Mausole Asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. The artwork presents an elderly man seated on a simple wooden chair, his body bent forward, with his face buried in his hands. He wears a pale blue outfit and well-worn shoes, and the interior space around him is sparse, featuring a wooden floor and a modest fireplace in the background. The overall composition is straightforward yet evocative, centering the viewer's attention on the solitary figure. The man's posture and the subdued environment together convey a profound sense of despair and fatigue. This painting was completed during a period of convalescence for Van Gogh, following a severe relapse in his mental health, and just 2 months before his death, which is generally accepted as a suicide. The work is notable for its expressive brushwork and emotional depth, hallmarks of Van Gogh's late style. Examining the surface of the painting, Van Gogh's characteristic thick impasto brushstrokes are immediately apparent. These textured strokes create a sense of movement and tactile quality across the canvas, particularly visible in the rendering of the man's clothing and the wooden chair. The swirling directional brushwork emphasizes the folds of the fabric and the structure of the furniture, lending a physical presence to the scene. The color palette is dominated by cool blues and muted earth tones, which are offset by the warm hues of the fire in the background. This interplay of color is a deliberate choice, enhancing the emotional atmosphere of the painting. The pull colors that envelop the figure evoke melancholy and introspection, while the subtle warmth of the fire suggests a distant comfort or a lingering presence of life beyond the man's sorrow. This contrast between cool and warm tones is consistent with Van Gogh's late works, where color and brushwork are used not only for visual effect, but also to underscore psychological themes. Focusing on the figure, the old man is depicted with his elbows resting on his knees, his face entirely hidden in his hands. This posture is a physical manifestation of deep exhaustion or grief, and it communicates a sense of withdrawal from the world. The bowed head and closed body language suggest that the man is overwhelmed by his emotions, perhaps confronting loss, despair, or the burdens of age. The anonymity of the figure, his face completely obscured, means that viewers are not presented with a specific identity or narrative. Instead, Van Gogh invites us to project our own feelings or interpretations onto the scene, making the painting a universal study of human vulnerability. The emotional intensity of the work is heightened by the simplicity of the setting. There are no distractions from the central figure, allowing his state of mind to dominate the composition. Art historians have often noted that this posture may symbolize the universal human experience of suffering and the confrontation with mortality. The painting's title, referencing Eternity's Gate, further suggests a meditation on the threshold between life and death. The context of Van Gogh's life at the time of creating this painting is essential for understanding its emotional resonance. In May 1890, Van Gogh was residing at the St. Paul de Mausole Asylum, undergoing treatment after a severe mental health crisis. His physical and psychological health were fragile, and he was in a period of recovery. The choice to revisit the theme of an old man in despair was not new. This painting is based on an earlier lithograph Van Gogh had produced, indicating his ongoing engagement with themes of suffering, endurance, and the human condition. The timing of the work, just 2 months before his death, has led many to interpret it as a reflection of Van Gogh's own struggles with despair and weariness. However, while the painting is often read as autobiographical, it is important to acknowledge that Van Gogh did not leave explicit statements about its meaning. The connection between the artist's mental state and his subject matter is plausible, but ultimately speculative. Nonetheless, the painting stands as a poignant document of Van Gogh's final months, marked by both creative vitality and personal hardship. Turning to the painting's provenance and catalog history, Sorrowing Old Man at Eternity's Gate was listed in the 1970 Van Gogh Catalogue Raisonné under the alternative title Worn Out at Eternity's Gate. The artwork's ownership history prior to its entry into modern museum collections is not extensively documented, which is not uncommon for works from this period. Despite this, the painting has been widely exhibited and studied as a significant example of Van Gogh's late oeuvre. The choice of title in the catalogue emphasizes the themes of exhaustion and mortality that permeate the work. Today, the painting is held in a major public collection where it is accessible for both scholarly research and public viewing. Due to its importance as a late work by Van Gogh and its rarity, the painting's market value is considered inestimable. It is regarded as invaluable within the context of Van Gogh's artistic legacy and the broader history of modern art. Scholarly interpretations of Sorrowing Old Man at Eternity's Gate have focused on its rich symbolism and psychological depth. Many art historians view the painting as a meditation on human suffering and the inevitability of death. The figure's posture, bent, closed in on himself, combined with the subdued, almost austere interior, suggests themes of isolation and existential reflection. Some experts have drawn attention to the fire in the background, which, though small and distant, introduces an element of warmth and light into an otherwise cool and somber composition. This detail has been interpreted as a symbol of life's fleeting warmth, hope, or the passage of time. However, interpretations of this element vary, and there is no definitive evidence that Van Gogh intended a specific symbolic meaning. The ambiguity allows viewers to engage with the painting on multiple levels, responding to its emotional and visual cues in their own way. The simplicity of the setting also plays a significant role in the painting's impact. The bare wooden floor, the unadorned fireplace, and the plain chair all contribute to a sense of modesty and universality. These elements do not anchor the scene to a particular time or place, making the subject's experience one that could belong to anyone. This universality is reinforced by Van Gogh's decision to obscure the figure's face, emphasizing emotion over individual identity. The absence of narrative detail shifts the focus to the inner world of the subject, inviting contemplation rather than storytelling. In terms of technique, Van Gogh's use of impasto, the thick application of paint, creates a sense of immediacy and presence. The brushwork is energetic yet controlled, with directional strokes that follow the contours of the figure and the furniture. This approach not only adds texture, but also conveys a sense of movement and vitality, even in a scene defined by stillness and sorrow. The color choices, with their careful balance of cool and warm tones, demonstrate Van Gogh's sensitivity to the emotional power of color. The overall effect is one of empathy and psychological insight, qualities that distinguish Van Gogh's mature work. The painting's legacy is closely tied to the circumstances of its creation and its enduring emotional resonance. As one of Van Gogh's final works, Sorrowing Old Man at Eternity's Gate stands as a testament to the artist's ability to convey profound psychological states through simple, everyday subjects. It reflects both the personal struggles of its creator and the universal themes of suffering, endurance, and the search for meaning. The painting continues to attract scholarly attention and public admiration, not only for its technical mastery, but also for its capacity to evoke empathy and reflection. It represents a culmination of his exploration of human emotion, achieved through a distinctive combination of color, form, and composition. Ultimately, Sorrowing Old Man at Eternity's Gate endures as a powerful example of how art can capture the complexities of the human experience. Through its expressive brushwork, evocative use of color, and understated symbolism, the painting invites viewers to reflect on themes that remain relevant across time and culture. Its significance lies not only in its place within Van Gogh's body of work, but also in its ability to communicate the depths of human feeling with honesty and compassion.